Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is so exciting. It's the first time I can say welcome back because this is only the second video on my channel. But if you're here, thank you so much for watching. I am very excited about this month because it is October, it's Halloween. It is the best time of year in my opinion. I really love fall and Halloween. Anything to do with Halloween, going to pumpkin patches, carving pumpkins, watching classic movies, of course cider, and I do love a good pumpkin spice latte. I just do. But this month was very exciting for me. I decided to go for a good old classic Halloween theme. So anything to do with Halloween, we have bats like haunted mansions, we've got gravestones, black cats, spell books, all the things dealing with Halloween. I wanted it, so I put it in this spread. Originally I also kind of wanted it to have a vintage feel, like sort of 70s or that sort of vibe. So I did look a lot of inspiration pins up on Pinterest, and there was a ton of stuff. It didn't quite turn out as vintagey as I would have loved, but it was still very classic Halloween, and overall I'm very happy with how this spread turns out. Here you can see I am sketching out the cover page, so I went with a haunted house, a haunted mansion, and which, by the way, if you haven't seen the new Haunted Mansion, definitely go give it a see. I think it comes on Disney Plus in October, like around Halloween is when the new one comes out. And I was a little skeptical. Of course, I was going to go see it anyway because it's a Disney movie, and I will always watch a Disney movie. I'll always give it a shot. But to me, the original Haunted Mansion is just such a Halloween classic. Eddie Murphy just makes that movie, and it's nostalgic for me. I grew up watching that movie and loving it. But the new one was good. It had a different storyline. They weren't trying to recreate the same movie, and I loved the characters and the backstory they gave it. But anyway, that was sort of a tangent. Here we are moving on. I went with watercolor for the majority of this spread, so you'll see me reaching for my watercolor paints a lot. It did make the pages kind of crinkly, but I wasn't upset about it because, again, it gave it kind of more of that old-fashioned, kind of weathered, vintage look, so I wasn't mad. I was not mad about that. And then, besides the watercolor, I think the only other medium I used was my pen, and I used the Sharpie Gel Pen. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's just the Sharpie Gel Pen in 0.07. Yeah, I really want to get a thinner one, but I really love that pen. It's very good. Here I am finishing up the windows. I decided to do them lit, like someone was inside. And of course, around the moon kind of flying, we have bats. We've got tree branches kind of snaking in. Anything to make it look creepy, I was all about. I wanted it to be very dark and gray and gloomy, and I think I accomplished that. I am fixing to move on once I finish up coloring these bats. I also want to say I color in October with this yellow marker, which I'm not mad about, but I kind of wish I had just colored it in plain black. I think it would have made more of a statement, but it's okay. But here we are moving on to probably my favorite spread this month. It's my absolute favorite. So if you're like me and you watch spooky Halloween favorite movies every single year, me and my husband definitely do, but this year we decided to create a set list. So every single night in October, we're going to sit down and we're going to watch a movie from this list, and it actually goes in order. But yeah, at the bottom there, I went in and drew some kind of old vintage 70s-ish looking TVs, and around it I have some VHSs. But yeah, the list I'm so super excited about because, of course, every year I watch movies on my own, sort of the Disney Channel vibes like Halloween Town, all of the Twitches, you know, Girl versus Monster, those sort of things. But yeah, so this year we have, of course, classics. We've got Hocus Pocus, we've got Beetlejuice, which I've somehow never seen. I don't know how, but I've never seen it, so I'm really excited. Then we have other Halloween classics. We've got like Coraline, we've got Scooby-Doo, we've got some horror movies like Pet Sematary, all the Screams. So yeah, I'm just really excited about it. If you want to be curious or nosy, you can pause it here and see exactly what movies I'm watching, and feel free to make your own list or watch some of the movies I have planned because I'm super excited about it, for sure. I also just want to say, if you happen to hear my dogs in the background, please ignore. They're always up to something, I swear. But here you can see I went in with this green color, and I also went in with a bright orange, and those kind of become, aside from like the gray and black colors, they kind of become the accent colors. So we've got like this orangey color, we've got the green color, and then I think I go in with a blue and of course yellow. So some bright colors, but mainly wanted to keep it kind of gloomy and old looking. Flipping over to the calendar spread, it kind of goes in and out of focus here. I'm sorry about that. But going over to the calendar spread, I keep it kind of small. I know I mentioned last month that I keep it small because for me, anything that I need to write out, I do on my weekly spread. I'm an avid to-do list person. I mean, I make pretty detailed to-do lists on my weekly spreads of like what I need to accomplish in the day, and for the most part, I stick to it. I even put like what kind of meals I have planned for the week there. So I keep the calendar spread pretty small because essentially I just put people's birthdays or, you know, events that I have coming up here. But yeah, moving down below, we go in with these jack-o'-lanterns, which actually become one of my favorite illustrations in this spread. I just like the way they look. um, yeah, I think they just look really neat. And of course I did the inside like they were lit up with a candle. I drew a melting candle next to it. And again, next to it you can see that I have a black cat kind of walking across the page. I wanted to keep the black cat kind of walking throughout the spreads, if that makes sense. Mainly just because I really love black cats. I have one of my own. His name is Vader. He's named after Star Wars, of course, but he is the greatest cat ever. I'm a little biased, but I do think he's the greatest cat ever. Here we are moving on to the habit tracker. I keep it pretty simple with this layout. I try to do habits that I sort of already do throughout the day so that I track them. Otherwise, I don't track them. And once again, below we have my book spread, which last month I kind of squared off where I would put the pictures of the books, but that just seemed kind of unnecessary, kind of repetitive, so I just kind of left a blank space next to it. That way I wouldn't feel pressured either to read X amount of books just because there was a space for it. So I just left some blank space, and then I can go in later and add the books that I want to read. But what books did I read last month? I read Practice Makes Perfect, which was a really cute sort of rom-com book. Highly recommend if you just want a light, easy read. And then I read Dance of Thieves, which took me about 100 pages to get into. But then once I got into it, I was fully invested, and I went yesterday and picked up the second one. So I will probably have finished that one by the time this video goes up as well. So those are the books I've been reading lately. Last year I would read like 7 books a month, but this year it's like around like 3 or 4, and that's totally fine. I just love books. But here we are finishing up the pumpkins, and I do want to mention really quick, in these next spreads, they're probably going to go pretty fast because I was having so many issues transferring files and videos over from my camera into my editing software. I'm really not sure why. I really tried a million things, and I was just getting so frustrated, and it was just not working for me. So you'll see the spreads kind of speed up, or some of the weekly spreads kind of get cut out, but you'll see them in my flip through at the end. I just wanted to mention that really quickly because it was really frustrating me, but I did want to just get this video up and not fiddle so much with the editing part. But here we are. I wanted to add this green color in the background because I really loved this color, and I wanted it to be sort of colorful. Again, add a wash of color just over the whole thing. But the next weekly spread you'll see me working on, it skips over the candy corn spread, which was just, I had a ghost trick-or-treating with that classic kind of jack-o'-lantern bucket. And then the days of the week are candy corn. You can kind of see that ghost down in the corner. But this spread was just some sort of bats. Again, with a night sky, just sort of really creepy. Again, this is going to go by really fast. This one was my favorite because I freaking love ghosts. I have a cute ghost mug. I have a ghost platter. Anything ghost related, I need it. But this one was one of my favorite weekly spreads. And next, of course, it cuts out a ton, and I'm so sorry, but the next spread is going to be like classic potions and spell books. Again, a black cat's going to be down there, and then I had a ton of room at the end, so I did this sort of old antique picture frame with a gravestone. But anyway, here we are to the final flip through. I loved this so much. It was so classic Halloween. Let me know what you guys think down below. I had such a great time creating this one, and I'm super excited for next month, so I will see you then. Bye!